Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's an All-You-Can-Geek bonus round, episode 24?
Sure. Fact check time.
I'm guessing it's 24?
You can look it up. You can look it up later. We'll verify in the file name and everything like that.
Yeah, so hopefully it's 24. If it's 23, I apologize, but...
Are you really keeping count,
It's 23,
listeners?
by the way.
23. Welcome
You
to
fucked it up,
episode
Jim.
20, bonus round 23. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast. I'm joined by Corey Feinsod.
I'm here.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Yo.
So, this is the PlayStation event bonus round, guys. We had the event. Was it an event? Yeah.
Not
That was my
really.
reaction.
It was more of a...
Hold on, I'm going to do something.
All right.
It was nothing!
Well,
It was barely something.
I
It was
think
barely something.
I think most of the issue that I have with this, well, not. I guess, okay, I really can't say most of the issue. One of the issues I have with this presentation was just the presentation itself. Like,
I think
it was
the
dull.
biggest
It was
problem
boring.
I had, like, with just going kind of riffing off what you're saying, though, Jim, is like the Apple event was right before, like, immediately following the Apple event was this PlayStation event,
Like,
and the people on stage at the Apple event were so much better presenting their,
love it or
apps,
hate
hardware.
what you got from the Apple event. You got to give them credit. They can throw an event together, and then the reactions in the crowd, and
the teleprompter better. They make it so much more natural, and they make it so that you understand what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because like even there's one point they're like talking about the water-resistant iPhone, and they're saying it's rated IP67 or whatever that. And he's like, whatever that means to you guys, it's waterproof. Like,
Right.
It's like,
That's the thing is, what's his name? Mark Cerny? Mark
Cerny.
Guy's probably a technical genius
he
and a
is.
guru, but his presentation skills probably aren't great for like a massively watched thing like that. And then whatever it is, he just can't convey, his message in layman's term because literally just like
he wants to get nerdy on us all, and
I'm just shaking my head.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, sure,
Yeah,
whatever.
And I've been saying this. By the way, give me some credit. I've been saying this almost after every Sony presentation for the last 3 years. They have had very, very dull performances from their CEO. The guys presenting have just been off.
Right. And, I'm glad you mentioned this because I do agree this event, the presentation of it was not the greatest.
pretty much awful.
Yeah, it was pretty much awful. But honestly, this goes back to a point I made a year or two ago where, what Nintendo does with the direct style thing, where just a pre-recorded video is a much better way to get, the information you want in a controlled method and get it across and not just be
I agree that you have your chance to really display what you want to display, but it's still the same. I don't have faith that Sony would put together something pre-recorded any better than they did it live. It's the people.
I think
I can see that.
The thing is you can't count on an applause all the time, and it seems like they were trying to.
It's
they had points in the teleprompter probably saying hold for a pause or something.
There was
you would hear one guy go,
yes. There was a couple times where there's one clap, and then the worst part was when the guys from EA, was it EA, where his mic didn't come on?
He's like, yeah.
There was a guy whispering.
No. One of the guys, I think it's from, was it Activision? He goes, yeah, thanks, or something like that. Maybe one guy applause. It's
not the applause, but when the microphone didn't work.
Right,
They had
that was also right.
It was off for a while, and you can hear the whispers from the audio-video people who are running the thing.
His mic is
yes,
on.
That's it. It's unbelievable. And then the girl, whoever was supposed to turn the mic on, is like, oh, and then she hands him a microphone. So it was ridiculous. It was really poorly run. Now, let's get past the presentations of this show, because if it's got content, which is what Sony's given us at their other events, I argue that their events are always dull and boring in terms of presentation, but their content has always been front, so you ignore that part. But like I said, I've said that I've never liked the way that they present their information for the past 3 years at E3. I think their shows, not that they're boring, because they have good content. So now we get an event here where I think that they missed.
Oh yeah,
this is no shot. I'm not trying to start an argument here, but it felt like Nintendo Wii U announcement. It felt like the Nintendo announcement, didn't it? Like you're like, what the fuck am I watching here?
Yeah, a little bit, just because like it was really confusing. I mean, like I'm a techie. We're all techie guys.
Yeah.
Like Mike's
we do a geek podcast centered on like giving you
We
information.
all work in IT on computers. We know this shit pretty well.
Right, but like even I was just like, dude, like, like you're losing me in the details because again, it doesn't really matter. Like, you should not be using your stage conference to talk to us about the nitty gritty details. Like, tell us like, like, hey, it's gonna be better, and this is why it's gonna be better. Like A, B, C, like bullet points.
First of all, he didn't sound excited. He sounded like he was reading from an encyclopedia.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
This is like not really related, but like lately I've been listening to. Have you guys ever heard of ASMR?
Mm-hmm. You've said it now. I think you've said it a few times now.
Yeah, it's like these like videos or like recordings that people do where it's like just like soft whispering to help you relax and get to sleep.
To
and
put you to
talk like
sleep.
this.
Yep.
And they'll do things on the microphone like this, or go or scratch like that, and stuff like that. And like seriously, the whole time I was like, dude, you are fucking putting me to sleep. You need to make some ASMR videos and get on YouTube because that's what you sound like right now.
He's got that voice though. He does have it. Yeah.
And that's fine. Not everybody can have a stage presence or a booming, loud voice, but the thing is, get somebody that can.
Yeah.
Put somebody else up on stage with him to balance the no.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
Like, don't look at this guy. He'll give you the information. But look at me. I'm doing crazy shit.
PS4 Pro. It's awesome. You need it. You want it. Buy it.
And I'll be like, and I can like smash things.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, see, Tony and I just did a better presentation than Sony did today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was such a mess. And, honestly, I think part of it, too, is that because we had known about this, like through rumors and leaks and stuff like that, and especially the PS4 Slim.
Leaks are killing things. Like, it killed Microsoft's press conference.
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's the thing, is I just want to reiterate that point, is like, maybe, like, the audience, like, PlayStation fans or video game fans, like, maybe we built up the PS4 Neo way too much because, like, it's like, oh, it's going to be a new system. It's going to be a midlife hardware refresh. And it's like, was it?
Yeah.
I'd be really hard to argue that because honestly, I have no desire to buy this at all.
Okay, so let's go with me here, who had a desire because we all know me. I early adopt things. I've stayed away from 4K pretty well, surprisingly. Yeah. But if you notice, these past couple weeks, I've talked about it a little more. I've even looked at TVs. My PlayStation 4 is not the best. It's dying. So I am the market. Like, this is the market. Me. I think I'm the prime market for this. Like, I think this makes sense. The Pro system for me makes the most sense. I'll admit, I can afford to buy this system. Like, yeah, this makes sense to me to get me. They didn't get me with this presentation, and that's the miss. You know what I mean? Like every time I'm watching this thing, I'm just like, you're not selling me on this. I think, was it Colin Moriarty? Is that the guy from IGN? He used to be on IGN. He does Kind of Funny Games now, or whatever it is.
I think so.
He was on Twitter, and I think he tweeted, like, if you have to hold an event showing, like, the individual pieces as to why you need to buy my system, we're not going to buy your system. Like, I think that sums it up.
Right, and so, like, here's the thing. Here's the other thing that I thought was weird, because, like, all right, it seems like the entire point of the PS4 Pro is for 4K television. Like, if you don't own a 4K television,
that's what
you should not be even looking at this system. Really,
well, they tried to get people with 1080p halfway through the presentation, which got
but that's
really
too late.
weird.
It's too late.
It got really
I kind of
weird.
tuned out.
Just so you guys know, just like listeners and viewers, the new system from the PlayStation family is called the PS4 Pro.
Yes, we should probably call it that one.
Right, the PS4 Pro. But
that is the new system.
They kept using like in-game footage. It's like, oh, this is from a PS4 Pro, and it's like, look, like unless you do like a direct comparison at the time, like do a split screen right down in the middle and show like PS4 Slim on PS4 Slim on one side, PS4 Pro on the other side.
Yeah.
Like me watching a stream on YouTube, like on a regular monitor, like I'm not gonna get the razzle dazzle. I'm not gonna get the wow, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get that. I'm just like.
There was a couple times where I think they did the wipe over. I think they did that.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice it.
Though.
But I didn't notice it at that point, which is a problem. And then I watched IGN's post because I thought, okay, let me see somebody who was there watching it, and they all said, like, the girl who's actually played Forza in 4K that was on the IGN podcast and that was on the broadcast from them said that she didn't notice enough of a difference in this. which that's a red flag. Like, I'm like, okay, so she's actually played what's coming with 4K gaming. Now that's a PC gaming Forza that she played with 4K. So that's what that's, probably high end, super expensive PC. But isn't that what they're trying to throw at us here? 4K? Like, isn't that what they're saying here? But then it's not really 4K. Like, they mentioned 4K a few times on this is the PS Pro. We'll go back and we'll talk about the Slim real quick afterwards, but this event was for the Pro. I mean, this is what it was for. So the PS4 Pro, which I don't like the name of it. It's another thing.
What would you have named it?
I left it at Neo. Why not?
Yeah, Neo or PS4K. Like that.
Yeah.
Like
you
that
can't
is such
name it PS4K now.
But now you can't. because it's not really
it's a
4K.
lie.
So every time they talked about better visuals and smoother aliasing and they were actually talking higher frame rates. Not once did they mention native 4K or 4K resolution. They said the system can display 4K, but they never said these games were running in 4K at all. Which is, and I picked up on that myself. Like, I was watching it and they never said it.
I just think the name doesn't really convey what it's doing. It's like, what is this for? Is this for professional gamers? Like, is it a professional PS4? Like, is it going to write up your fucking Excel spreadsheets and documents? Like, what does that mean? What does a pro mean? Like, it doesn't get the message across, I don't think. Like, it's not the worst naming convention. Like, definitely the Wii U is the worst, but like...
You ended up getting, actually, it's fine. I don't think it's that bad for what we actually have in the box.
You're okay with Pro?
I don't, like what you're saying. It doesn't convey...
It's the same shit controller, and I'll call it shit because I don't like it. I've said this a million times.
It is the updated controller, but it's the same design, sure.
It's not better battery life. It's not really any different in terms of customization. At least give Microsoft, when they released an Elite system, the Xbox One Elite, they gave you the Elite controller with it. You know what I mean? Like, this is the same controller. Looks like... I mean, I don't like the look of it. Did you guys see the screenshots? I mean, I'll link some here from IGN. Actually had a whole high-res teaser.
I think we talked about it in Slack how crappy it looks.
Yeah, it looks. Well, I mean, the listeners' viewers might not get us on Slack, but you should. So just email us or contact us on Facebook or whatnot, and we'll get you in there. But I think the system looks terrible. Like, compared to like any PlayStation system, like I think it ranks with like the PS3. Like the original PS3 was like, it's just ginormous.
There's a bubble.
Original PS3 wasn't bad, I don't think.
The grill, the George Foreman grill is probably the worst PlayStation.
Corey, the build, we've mentioned this in the last podcast, the build quality on the original PlayStation 3 was good. The design was a giant bubble.
Yeah, sure.
So what do you think is the worst looking PlayStation system?
The worst looking PlayStation system? Well, I mean, when you're talking about PlayStations and to have this one included, this one I think is definitely the worst.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah, oh, absolutely.
Like the PS1 revision, amazing. PS2 Slim, amazing.
Yes.
The first PS3 Slim was pretty decent. I didn't like the George Foreman grill one.
No.
Right?
No.
So they made two Slims, right?
No, not that I.
They made two Slim. Didn't they make two Slim PS2s? I'm almost certain because that was around for so long. But
but we'll look into that. But
all I know is, like, why not do something crazy with this and kind of make it go back to your roots and make it look like a PS1? Like, how cool would that have been? Like, if you make it look kind of like an old school PS1, that'd be kind of cool.
Maybe they should just call it PlayStation 1.
See, now they've got Microsoft in the naming scheme. I'm gonna give Microsoft the edge on the actual hardware now, which is just don't drop the ball. I mean, on Slack, I'd put that GIF. Don't drop the ball.
And you know what? Honestly, I think this shows some vulnerability on Sony's side because, like, literally, like, I even said this that Sony kind of got handed the generation just because of how badly Microsoft went into it, like with the Orlin leak. And just like how the message got so misconstrued, and they were just doing damage control. They were putting out fires, and they hadn't even had a chance to officially announce the system yet. It's like all Sony had to do when they got in that first conference, and they're like, "We're not Microsoft.
Yes,
you can play used games and stuff like that."
I think mic drop was the biggest thing. Yeah.
Mic drop, and like it's like, like they got so much goodwill from gamers, like it just went in there. But this, I think, depending on how the Scorpio plays out, I don't know. Like, I could see Microsoft possibly making a comeback next year. Like, I mean, they're already doing really well with the Xbox One S coming out.
Well, here's the thing. Like let's go. We're gonna go back to the Pro, but let's talk about Slim real quick because let's talk about the Slim. So they gave it a price drop, which is nice. You get a $299 console, but now in terms of product, all it did was nothing. They took a little bit off the top. It's a little. They gave it like a little bit of a haircut.
As far as the
Slim,
look of it,
the Slim.
Mm-hmm.
So the Slim is
as
just.
As far as the look of it,
is it actually dimensionally smaller, or is it just thinner?
Yeah, it is.
It's thinner and it'll fit on top of your PS4. Sure, you'll see it around.
It's dimensionally a little bit smaller.
Okay.
The interesting part to me is that it runs at a lower watt consumption, which most people don't think about, but like.
When you're paying electricity bills,
when you're paying electricity bill, you should. I'm like, that's the other thing. Like the PS4 Pro, I think it's like 300 something watts or something ridiculous.
It's got a big plug on the back of this thing. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like that's a computer plug.
It's pretty concerning, actually.
Which is, I mean, I'm expecting the Scorpio to have the same thing. I'm expecting a giant system.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, cooling wise, you got to have a video card that's giant in there, and I think that's why they added the third layer on this system here. But at that point, who and Sony said that looks like a beautiful system? Let's sell this.
I don't know.
Like,
whatever. I don't even care about the looks of the system. Like, they just didn't sell me on the features of it. Like, there's no reason for me to upgrade my PlayStation 4, and I was really open to that.
And that's the big issue here is that we knew it was coming, but we didn't realize how underwhelming it was going to be, I think. Because, I mean, we all knew. Like, even a few days ago when we did the podcast.
Yeah.
We said that if it's not changed, it's coming out this year, and it's going to be, whatever, $400. I think we called all that, basically. Yeah, and so we're like, okay, that's fine. We accepted that, but then we actually hear it, and the fact that Xbox we know is going to be better, and the Slim Xbox, which is already out, has hardware improvements in it that the Pro PS4 doesn't have. That is unacceptable.
Here's the weird part about this situation. When Microsoft announced their Scorpio, everybody was wondering, why the fuck would you announce a system a year before it came out, right? But I gotta wonder if they got these specs, they know what that PS4 was gonna be, and by announcing the Scorpio, all they did was give you something that's on the horizon that's going to crush this. Like, that's it. They literally said true 4K gaming. They put it out there. Now, they could be lying, because we haven't seen it yet, but they actually made the statement of 4K resolution for gaming.
And they said it was going to be native 4K.
Yes. Right. So, like, I think, at that point, I think they knew about this, and I think that also helped them in this situation, because they also released a slim console that had 4K streaming and a 4K Blu-ray player, which you don't get in either of these PlayStations. Which is kind of crazy. Now, I understand a lot of arguments. I've read a lot of people, like, joke posts when they reply. How many people use discs anymore? I like having both. Like, you'll get a digital version. If you go to the store and you buy a 4K Blu-ray or a regular Blu-ray, whatever it is, you get the digital version nowadays.
It just doesn't make sense either. Like, Sony, has a share in the 4K
Blu-ray. Yeah.
Plus, the Blu-ray. Like, why would they not include that?
Plus,
why is Microsoft including this?
Yeah, plus well, that's the thing. Like, they included it, and the other thing is like streaming bit rates. Some people get capped on data.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Most people should not be streaming 4K.
Exactly. So if you're getting a data cap, and that's going to change. I mean, if you look at even the wireless phones, companies are increasing their ranges now, but it's starting to modify. But still, like, compression bitrate, video, picture-wise, if you're going 4K, you want that picture, and you don't get the same quality streaming as you do by popping the disc into the system. You just don't. It's not there. Right. So by missing that, that's another feature I felt that was when I found that out, when you said that on Slack, I was like, let's fucking do this podcast because I want to fucking rant about that. That's a huge miss from them, especially because they're one of the founding fathers of Blu-ray. It's just,
well, I don't understand. And the thing that people were arguing about is price, but like the Xbox S, whatever they call it, the Xbox One S, is a slim system that has a 4K Blu-ray player, and it's $300.
Yes, same price as the
Not
Slim.
to mention they have to pay the full royalty fees to include.
Right. It's so there is no excuse for Sony not to have this in their system, especially if you're gonna have a higher tier system like the Pro system. If you're going to exclude it from a system, fine, exclude it from the Slim. But you have to have it in the Pro. I
Yeah,
mean that
yeah.
that
You're
just does
building.
not make
You start a
any
press
sense.
conference talking about 4K, and then you don't have 4K. Like I
This
just
is
don't
not a
understand it.
future system. Like
Yeah.
you're not future proofing anything here. Like you're telling people to go buy Xbox One Slim.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right now. In terms of comparison, now if we had no idea what the Scorpio was going to be, would this announcement have been better?
No, forget about the Scorpio right now.
I'm just saying. But I'm saying, is that what? Okay, so you're just throwing the. You're not thinking about what we're getting from the Scorpio because we know that. I'm just. In terms of specs, not like just thinking about what the power of this system is.
I'm just looking at at this event in a bubble.
Okay.
Underwhelming.
In a bubble.
and what we have right now. I mean, because you can go out and buy an Xbox One S right now.
Yes. And I said to you on Slack, I said I don't want to buy a Xbox One Slim. It makes the most sense for me for my bedroom right now because I can do some streaming a little bit, but I'm probably gonna go buy the PS4 Slim personally. That's what's going to happen for me when I finally get fed up with my USB ports frying out on me every few minutes, which will happen tonight when we play Overwatch. Do we get specs on this, Neo, at all?
What type of specs are you looking for?
No, they
flops?
did.
Did we get flops? Did we get flops?
It's 4.5.
It is 4.5. So they did an upgrade, which is how they're releasing it. By the way, November 10th, this comes out for $399. For those wondering if we're finally getting to the price 20 minutes into this.
Yeah, it's going to be 8 gig GDDR5 RAM.
They didn't increase the RAM.
No.
1 terabyte hard disk.
I mean, you're going to get aren't you getting 16 in the Scorpio? Didn't they already say that?
I don't know if they said 16, but you're definitely getting GDDR5.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting a better, but I'm not. Let's just keep it in the bubble. You're right. Let's stop. I'm not going to bring it up. I'm just saying that looks cooler. I'm okay. It's hard for me because I will admit it. I'm a self-admitted Microsoft fan. But I have both. I'll admit it. So I'll naturally compare the two. I have both consoles, and like I said before this whole thing started, I'm the kind of person you sell this to, and it didn't sell me. Either way. Mm-hmm. And I need a new system. I need a PS4. Because mine is dying.
Well, you did get it refurbished.
Did we get a processor? Is it the same processor?
Well, no, it's not. I don't know.
That was an 8-core.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
it's the I think they said it was like the Polaris.
From what I gathered on this is it's an overclocked because they said something about clock rate increase. So I'm guessing it's an overclocked processor.
Now here's the thing. I don't even care. I don't want to talk about specs. It doesn't matter to me. All I care about is the games. And frankly, the games that they showed, like, yeah, they look great. But the thing is, I think they're gonna look pretty great as it is on my normal PS4. Like, they showed Horizon, which I'm still all in on that game. But like,
I got down. Let's talk about some of the games while we're doing this. Like, I went a little down on. Remember how hyped I was when I said that was on? I was like, this is awesome. This game looks great. And then like I'm watching the demo. I'm like, it's actually Uncharted. And I'm not saying that's terrible.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's a fair comparison because really all they did in the demo was she climbed this monster. And I wouldn't even say that's Uncharted. I mean, how many games do you climb stuff in? And really, I would make a comparison more to Shadow of the Colossus because that's what she was doing. She was climbing the giant.
Even had the grapple hook.
Uncharted's not the first game that has a grapple
hooks, man.
Like, yeah, how many people have used grapple hooks? Not many.
Lost Planet, Bio Commando, Overwatch.
You mean Bionic Commando?
Whatever it's called.
Batman,
yeah, I mean, grappling hooks are all over the place. I think that was definitely.
Creed, I'm pretty sure you can get grapple hooks. Like, it's not unique. It's not special. I understand.
But I think the only reason you compared them because they're both on the PS4 and they're both third-person action.
When I saw the way the wall looked with the line, where you can jump up on that has the white line, so the ledges you can grab. I immediately thought of Uncharted because that was in Uncharted.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and maybe they have some like standard like.
Is that a bad thing though?
No, it's not a terrible thing. I'm not saying. I'm just saying I was a little bummed that I saw that because I thought this was going to be a new style of gaming. Like, but it might be because we just didn't see enough.
It's a third-person action adventure game, so it's going to borrow a lot from third-person action adventure.
And Uncharted is a fantastic one, as I said. So I guess what I can't hate that much. You're right, I can't.
But anyway, the trailer was just not a good one. Like, it wasn't exciting.
All of the trailers weren't. Did you notice
all of the trailers.
We finally get to see footage of Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda. Holy shit. I was psyched. And And then
I was like, isn't this the first footage we're seeing publicly?
I always had to think about that too, and I'm like, wait, this is? And I'm like, show me the fucking game, and it's just him walking around. Is that the game? Because it's like their presentation. It was exactly like Sony's presentation. It was like, hi, this is the PlayStation Plus Pro, whatever it is. I do 4K gaming. And then that's what that game was. It was like, hi, I'm Mass Effect. I'm going to walk this way and press this button. Yep. Then you see cutscene.
God. And then we had Call of Duty and
Call of Duty at least showed us some actual action.
It was game actiony things. And then was there another game? Spider-Man. But
now Spider-Man,
stuff we already saw though.
I don't know if I wanted to see side by sides from what they showed at E3 because I thought that did look much better. But then you got to figure the game is further along at this point, so it's going to look better.
It looked like the same footage to me.
Did it? I thought it looked nice, but I may have been wanting to make it look nice.
The problem here again is that you're not really showing a comparison of what's improving. You're telling us, but can we actually believe that? Because you're just, I mean, somebody like Mike is never going to see the difference. He's not going to know
well, and then they talked about
he's not going to care.
HDR. So why is they talked about HDR. That's what they did for 1080p, Tony. When they went into HDR, was them talking all about 1080p users. So when you buy the Pro console, you still get that added advantage of getting the HDR content. But then they said they announced it for all of the systems. But they were saying that as a selling point at first. They showed us Tomb Raider. They showed us the zombie game that we all were very underwhelmed with at E3.
Fuck that game.
Days Gone or something like that.
Yeah.
Fuck that game.
Yeah, and again, it still looked didn't it look very generic again, like even from what they showed? It's the same demo. I think they tried to show us the HDR version.
I feel bad for that game because I'm sure that a lot of people are working really hard on it, but it just looks, it's reminding me of No Man's Sky. It's like, I don't give a shit about this game. I'm sure you put a lot of effort and wanted to make the best game possible, but what do you do and why do I care?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, but I think that was all the games they showed, right? We didn't miss one, I don't know, but they didn't show enough of a difference. They didn't see side by sides. Like, I really would love to see Digital Foundry.
You can't do that. You can't make an event like this and just show like something that's going to be graphical. It's not even like a big graphical difference. Like even if like it was in front of us, like I'd be like, oh yeah, that one looks better, but. You want me to buy another system for that? Nah, bro.
Yeah, $400. Give me an upgrade option.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's the thing.
Not enough there.
Right, I'm just confused at who the target audience or consumer is this for? Because I mean, they already start off the conference that there's 40 million PS4s out there. Like, how many people are going to go out and upgrade their PlayStation 4 for this? Like, I don't even know what the 4K adoption rate is, but I can't imagine maybe 10%?
4K TVs are selling ahead of the curve in what they're projected. They're actually doing very well for 4K TVs.
Right, but how many of those people are going to buy a system then for that?
The problem is you're getting the HDR update in all of your PS4s, so it really doesn't matter.
Right, and that's the other
for the casual person. How many PS4s are out there right now? 45 million. I'd say 40 million, whatever it is. 40 million. I'd say 35 million of those people don't give a shit. Wouldn't even know the difference between HDR and 4K upscaling. I mean, we're not even talking native 4K, so this is upscaling. And there was a great post on Reddit. Some guy was like, "So if my TV does 4K upscaling, why do I need this system?"
Which 75% of the 4K TVs do this.
Exactly. If you're just having a TV that already does it, why do you need another system that's doing the same type of thing? Yeah. And maybe we get a couple extra bushes here, and it reminded me of the Apple game that they showed. We got 400 monkeys or whatever it is on screen.
I was like, what the hell is? And then that is the same.
It's still a shitty game, and who cares if you put more monkeys on the screen? I don't care. I get more foliage and jungle. Great.
Now here's something, and this might be conspiracy theory kind of stuff, but I kind of wonder if the PS4 Pro was intended as a new device to utilize or capitalize on the PlayStation VR, because, like I said, I thought we heard rumors months ago that the PSVR kind of struggled on the default PlayStation 4, and that this was strictly to take advantage. The Vita, not the Vita, the fucking VR.
Well, they did mention VR and how they were going to add more depth to their games with the PlayStation Pro. They did make that statement during the presentation.
Right. So I kind of wonder if this is kind of like rushed to market just to meet like what they anticipated was going to be VR demand. And honestly, I can only speculate that they're already working on another revision of the PlayStation 4 to match the Scorpio.
Like, yeah, but
I can see that being very possible.
But can you release a console that fast? Like, okay, we've had 4 years here for an upgrade. Can you release one in 2?
Now that you've set a precedent, I think you can.
You didn't set a precedent for 2.
You're setting it now. You're setting it now. I mean, you're saying this is happening. No, you're saying this is happening. You're getting upgraded systems. In 2 years, you don't think, hey, guys, guess what? The Pro is now the old console, and now the new Pro is this Scorpio equivalent. I mean,
so really quick, I mean, that's the thing is like I thought the entire point of this generation that Microsoft and Sony did was that they could get off-the-shelf components to make production and assembly much, much, much easier. It's not like a custom. It's not like the cell chip or anything like that.
Yeah.
So really, all they have to do is like get higher RAM and like get us a better newer graphics card. From jumping from like a 1060 to a 1070, something like that.
Yeah.
They just put it in a box. So I don't know. That's my personal thought on that process. That
even Microsoft, like the rumor was that's basically what they were doing too, and then.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna be
kind of came out and said no, but
so if we go 2 year, this is gonna happen. Then it's gonna happen. I think that's too fast.
Do you think, or do you have a problem with having consoles just moving down the ladder, basically? So like now the Pro's the $299 version, and the next the $399 versions
you get the Pro Slim or something like that.
Yeah, but like.
And then you get the Ultra Pro.
So wait,
and the Super Pro.
The Pro Slim
Super Pro Turbo.
The Pro Slim is just a PS4. I mean, look at that thing. It's got 3 levels. If you take the top level off, it's a PS4. So if you just say Pro Slim is just the old PS4
Slim.
shell.
I mean, they look like they put 2 Slims together and
they caked them together. Yeah.
It's like the Big Mac of consoles.
Yes, yes, it does look like that's a perfect example. I was gonna say like a 3-layered cake, but
I was thinking of a burger myself.
I was thinking cake, but.
But not. I mean, that's my personal speculation. I think, and here's the thing: is that Sony is holding the cards right now because they're in the lead by worldwide by a pretty
very large market. Yeah.
Right. So the thing is, they as the most successful console and just kind of like Nintendo had with the Wii, like they don't mind the generation playing out for the longest because and kind of like Microsoft caught up and was at a really successful rate too with the 360 after the revision. They're ready to milk the generation because they've already invested all the money into R&D, this and the other thing. The user base is huge, so when a game comes out, it's gonna has a higher chance of being more successful. Like I can see Sony just milking the PS4 for another 5 years maybe at this rate. Like if they just keep going, like every 18 to 24 months, they're releasing a new version with a better graphics card, better memory, bigger hard drive.
You even were talking about it before, Jim, where like. Phones do this.
Oh yeah.
Every year, new phones, just a little bit of an upgrade, just a little bit of an upgrade.
But then
and I think
now every year.
And I think Apple has helped condition people for that now. Like they're okay with that.
But then it starts to get into that gray area of how well does it run those other games, and how your phone works.
I mean,
I'm not new one comes out.
For this, I think I've said like I don't want it to be this way specifically, but it's happening, and it's happening right now.
I'm okay.
We're months away.
For the record, like I'm not like against this 4-year upgrade here, like this midterm. Like if this is a midterm of the cycle, I think
it's gonna be much sooner now. We're gonna be getting them every like you're saying 18, 24 months.
I mean, you're right. It might. I mean that sounds. That's what we've talked about with the cell phone comparison.
Basically, keep the hardware at $399 at $299, and you just move them down. Just beep, boop, boop, boop.
Apple,
same prices.
Just like Apple. Yep.
Exactly.
Apple. Yep. I got you. That makes sense, except you're not. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess. I was gonna say you're not talking the same price, but you're also talking cheaper than a phone, actually.
Yeah, you are, because a lot of companies got rid of the subsidy. You're talking 2-year contract stuff like that.
You're talking cheaper.
But yeah.
Put on a credit card. I mean, America loves credit cards. So I mean, the only thing is like once you hit that, the next revision, when do you start saying, hey, well, now that original PS4 is no longer going to work? That's the only thing that you have to.
That's a scary thought. It is a scary thought.
Well, listen,
it's something you have to be careful with.
Let's say, and that's the thing. If you start doing revisions that fast, that happens faster. So, like, let's say right now the PS4 lasts for 6 years before it's like when they bring out the next version of the Pro. Like, let's say in 2 years from now they bring out that future version, and then they say your PlayStation 4, your original one, I'm sorry, isn't going to work. At that point, that's 6 or 7 years old. That's not terrible to ask for an upgrade then, but then you're on a 2-year cycle, and then it's a problem. I think then it's a problem. Because...
it definitely could. The thing is, I think they got to at least be like, hey, look, for it to be successful, I would think, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but like, I would think for it to be successful, they got to be like, to publishers, be like, look, your game at the very least has to be able to run on the original PS4 model. It has to, like, flat out has to. You can
look like shit, but...
right. Like, it just has to play. Like, we're not saying it has to run at 60 FPS. Maybe it runs at 30 FPS. Because, I mean, like, Jim, like, remember, like, didn't you say that Last of Us, like, was, like, killing your PlayStation 3?
Yeah, it was melting it. It was melting
right,
it.
Like, like, it didn't run the greatest, but it ran.
Yeah.
So,
So they've done it. You're right, they've done it. They just did it behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, even Nintendo with their new 3DS is, like, locking people out of games that...
yeah.
Like the Virtual Console on the Super Nintendo, I remember you got mad about that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother area we need to get into.
It sucks, but I think it's just the way that's the drawback to technology like it is now.
I think we all had these like glass or whatever goggles like thinking like, oh, it's happening now, it's actually like official, we can really we're not speculating anymore, we're actually talking about this, and I think that's the most worrisome, but at the same time, it's here, and I could see them doing a lot of this stuff that we're saying. It just makes so much more sense now, and like we were saying, that precedent's being set, and people are conditioned for those hardware revisions and upgrades.
Mm-hmm. And like 10 years ago, no, I don't think it would work, but like now,
I mean, look at the history of expansion packs and memory expansions. Never really caught on to everything. I mean, some people did, but it never really caught on. I mean, you're talking the Saturn had it, the N64 had it.
Hey, now you can say this is the best PlayStation 4 we've ever built.
Ever made. It's like, yeah.
So, because it's the new one. So,
and then eventually they'll just get rid of like the USB port and put in like the PlayStation port.
See, they made the statement in this broadcast that this is the best system to display 4K content on. I would argue
that's more pure bullshit. Yes, I agree with you, Jim. Like, that's typical PR bullshit. Typical.
But it's not even. It's not even if you can't play with 4K Blu-rays.
No, I agree. Like,
you can't make that statement. Like, that's
like
where
all those Blu-rays you've been like buying, like getting ready for 4K.
Yeah, I've kind of prepped a little bit, and
those black cases are nice. I like them.
They are. And when those drop in price, because I always get them when they're $20. I've gotten a few that were $20. I have 3. When I got them for $20 each.
Deadpool, one of them.
Deadpool, Batman versus Superman. I have 2. I have 2. But that's all I have. No, I don't have any yet. I pre-ordered something. One of the stuff coming out later, but so yeah, I'll have a couple. But I'm prepping because, like I said, I like having a disc version. But I usually watch my streams. I watch Voodoo for my movies. But I like having that disc version because Mike will be listening to this and laughing because every now and again the internet's out, and you gotta watch it by the old-fashioned way. So old man Mike, turning 30 soon.
Joining the 30 club.
But what is funny though is like on Reddit and just looking at the PS4 subreddit. Every thread that talks about the PS4 Pro, like maybe there's 15 to 20 posts to say what the fuck is HDR, because nobody knows. Like, even it is hilarious when Mike
they did a poor job of communicating that.
They even started. Oh my god, they started the HDR session by saying that that genre is in flux right now with standards. Did anybody else catch that but me? I'm like, wait, so you're bringing something else out that's going to maybe change in like a year? They started their presentation saying that HDR has multiple standards and in flux at the moment. Like that's how Sony started that presentation.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to it, you'll hear. So I'm paraphrasing slightly, but that's kind of what he said. So, but anyways, so let's wrap it up here, guys. Final thoughts on this thing. Anything good? Anything positive to take out of this?
No.
I mean, we got a $299 price drop. Slim console.
Oh, I'm sorry. The whole conference, yes. PlayStation 4 Slim with
Slim console for me. That's what I'm going to probably get.
And the price drop. Yeah, that's the best thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a PS4 right now, the Slim is a good deal.
Yeah.
You're going to get, the HDR software upgrade. So, and every game's going to look fine. All the multiplayer is going to be compatible between the two systems. You really don't need to spend the extra $100 on that.
No, you don't.
And you don't need to wait. I mean, you're going to get the system next week. So.
Yes. And I wonder if they'll do some upgrade options. I'm going to take a look. I'm sure they will.
I'm sure GameStop is going to have something tomorrow.
The 13th or something like that for the Slim?
I think it's the 5th. Was it the 15th, or am I thinking about that's the iPhone? I'm mixing up dates. When you watch back-to-back conferences, it's like you just mix up the dates. But you're right. It's that week. 13th or 15th. I'm thinking it's the 13th because the 15th is the iPhone, if I remember
16th
right.
is the iPhone.
Oh, so maybe it is the 15th. I thought something was on the 15th.
It's the week of the 15th.
We all have the internet right now. We could look it up.
I mean, I assume that it's the Tuesday because gaming's come out on Tuesday, so I wouldn't hardware.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've been out of it for a little while now, so I forget that Tuesday was the big releases. I don't think I have. Oh, here it is, September 15th. Oh, I got it! Boom!
There you go.
September 15th. Oh, I'm good. I probably just stopped the video to look that up, everybody, because I had to change windows. Sorry, but anyways, we're good. Oh, now I got an audio playing. Hang on, I got a stupid ad playing. Okay, so overall takeaways: this was not a great showing.
Drop the ball.
Dull conference.
And the weird thing was a lot of the information came out after when all those people are doing those interviews. Yeah. The conference really told you nothing.
They didn't get much information.
And then they clarified everything after the event, which is, I think that the event probably was really cool if you were there because it looked like they had a lot of stuff going on. But as far as their keynote speech that they were trying to sell you on the console, it failed in every possible way.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know, like, it's funny because we were mentioning, really off topic, but we're mentioning how NX still has to have its conference or event, direct, whatever you want to refer to it. And I was like, well, if they do it after, something like, people might not just care, but like, honestly, the thing is, like, I think Nintendo has a good opportunity here.
Well, here's the better part. I'm getting PSVR this year. I don't absolutely need to buy a new console for the PS4 right now. Mine's running. I'll probably run it till it dies. If
you should.
If the NX is actually appealing. If it's not appealing, I'll just get the Slim. So there you go. I mean, as long as I'm probably getting the NX anyways. We all know this. I mean, I'm gonna play Zelda. So
you need Zelda.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if any of this actually. I wish the Slim allowed 4K streaming. Just something 4K in it, so that when I get it, next year when I get a 4K TV, I have something ready for it.
Jim, don't worry. The PS4 Pro Ultra will be out next year.
This is a terrible line. Ugh. We're going down a terrible path right now. It's a dark path, and I don't know. I'm just not very positive about this right now. So. Hopefully Microsoft next year wows us. Who knows when they're going to give that presentation? That'll be early next year, I'm sure.
As long as they don't mention TV, they'll be fine.
I guarantee you...
We're always online. Scorpio's always online. We finally realized our dream.
So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. It's going to be months after this, so this won't be as fresh in our minds.
I think Microsoft has an opportunity to learn, just like Sony had an opportunity to learn after Microsoft's fuck up. So, like I said, Sony definitely exposed there's weakness.
The second, and I put this on Slack, the second that the Sony conference ended, the Xbox Twitter account tweeted out, the Xbox One Slim, 40% smaller, 4K streaming, UHD Blu-ray, and $299. I'm like, they tweeted that immediately out. So... Clearly, they know they're kind of smiling over there, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this has a big impact on the gaming world. The PlayStation 4 still sells very well. I don't know if this helps Microsoft at all in terms of the gaming console war. It does leave a door open for them to make a Scorpio unit that's more powerful and make them the standard, but other than that, that's future, though. That's way down the road, like you guys said. And then Sony will just counter again. So, whatever. All right.
I mean, I just want to close with one thing here, and we'll get into our regular weekly podcast next week. It says a lot when you have an event as one of the major three that makes hardware. You have an event that announces two new systems, and the talk of the day on every social media platform was Mario coming to iOS.
I like the look of that game. For the record, I thought that's gonna. I played Monster Rush. Remember, was it Monster Dash? Monster Dash. I played Monster Dash for a long time on the iPhone. So I'll play Mario for a little while. I mean, I'm sure I'm not gonna play forever, but I'm looking forward to that game. Because I love Monster Dash was fun. You sit in a movie theater waiting for the movie to come on, and you just play Monster. It's perfect to play Monster Dash, and that's perfect for Mario there. I won't spend any money in the game, but
it's not a free-to-play game.
Oh, it's not free. Good for them. This is good for them. Okay.
Oh, it is.
I like this. There you go. Okay, I'm giving Nintendo some credit today. Positive thing out of the PlayStation conference is nothing. The positive of the day is Nintendo has a appealing mobile game coming for me. And my Apple Watch 2.
And you can play Pokemon Go on your watch.
And my Apple Watch 2 got announced, so that's a good thing for me. So, all right.
Anyway, we'll recap this a little bit on our regular podcast, and we'll talk about all that stuff a bit more in depth. So.
All right, guys. Yeah,
thanks for listening, everybody.
The bonus round. Tune in to our regular ones and subscribe to YouTube. Could we have video of this? There's Corey giving the peace sign, Tony waving. Or you have the audio. You can subscribe on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, AYCG. Go to our website, AYCG.net. And that's great. Tune in. Tune in next week for the regular stuff.